You can drive for hundreds of miles on dark asphalt, then suddenly cross onto a pale concrete road. Both surfaces do the same basic job, carry thousands of vehicles without letting them sink into the ground, but they are not equals. Concrete is harder, handles heavy loads well, and is less likely to develop deep wheel ruts. Built properly, it can remain in service for decades. So why do so many roads still use asphalt? Maybe the answer is not which material is stronger, but which problem matters most on that road. To see why, look beneath the surface. What separates these pavements is not just what they are made of, but what happens once trucks, weather, and years of use begin working on them. Let's get into it right here on Small Things. Small. Two roads that do not behave the same. Concrete begins with cement, water, sand, and larger aggregates such as gravel or crushed stone. As the cement reacts with water, the mixture hardens into a rigid slab. That rigidity shapes the way a concrete road carries weight. When a heavy truck presses down on one area, the slab helps distribute that load across a wider section instead of allowing the force to remain concentrated beneath the tires. Asphalt takes another route. Its stone aggregate is held together by bitumen, a sticky petroleum-based binder. Once laid, it behaves less like a rigid plate and more like a surface that can give slightly under stress. The movement is small, but it matters. Asphalt can flex under traffic and respond to changes in temperature without acting as one solid slab. At first, concrete seems like the obvious winner. If the same heavy vehicles are going to cross a road thousands of times, a rigid surface sounds like the safer choice. Sometimes it is. But the stronger material is not automatically the better road material. Before modern engineers ever had to make that choice, both concrete and asphalt had already been solving problems for a very long time. A much older rivalry than the automobile. Long before either material carried a car, both were already useful for completely different reasons. Ancient builders used early forms of concrete thousands of years ago. The Romans became especially famous for mixtures of lime, volcanic ash, water, and aggregate. Some Roman structures made with these materials have survived for nearly 2,000 years. Bitumen has an equally old history. In Mesopotamia, naturally occurring asphalt was used for waterproofing and construction long before anyone imagined paved highways. Modern asphalt pavement came much later. During the 19th and 20th centuries, engineers learned how to combine refined bitumen with crushed stone to create durable road surfaces that could be laid over long distances. Then the automobile changed the scale of the problem. Cities needed more streets, countries needed highways, roads had to carry growing numbers of vehicles, and they had to be built fast enough to keep expanding networks connected. By then, the question was no longer whether concrete or asphalt could work. It was which one made more sense for the job in front of the engineers. Asphalt's real advantage is time. Once hot asphalt is spread, compacted, and allowed to cool sufficiently, traffic can often return relatively quickly. Concrete follows a slower schedule because it must cure and gain enough strength before heavy vehicles can safely use it. On an empty construction site, that difference may seem minor. On a major commuter route, it can affect an entire city. Close one lane and traffic backs up. Keep an urban corridor shut too long and delays spread beyond the work zone. Deliveries arrive late. Buses lose time. Emergency vehicles have fewer options. This is where asphalt earns one of its biggest advantages: speed. The road can often return to service sooner, which matters when every extra hour of closure carries a cost beyond the pavement itself. Initial construction can also be less expensive, especially across long stretches of roadway, and when the surface wears, crews do not always have to rebuild everything underneath. In some cases, a fresh asphalt layer can be placed over the existing pavement. extending its useful life with less disruption. If speed and convenience were the only priorities, concrete would have disappeared long ago. It has not, because some roads face a different problem: enormous loads repeated again and again for years. Where concrete fights back. Imagine a heavy truck crossing the same stretch of pavement every day, then another, then hundreds more, following nearly the same wheel paths. A road does not need to crack apart to begin failing. Asphalt can slowly lose its intended shape. Under repeated wheel loads, the surface may begin to sink slightly where tires pass most often. Over time, those depressions can form long grooves known as ruts. The material is still there. The road may even look intact from a distance, but its geometry has changed. Concrete is much more resistant to that kind of permanent deformation. Its rigid structure is less willing to take on a wheel-shaped depression after thousands of repeated loads. Industrial facilities, ports, loading areas, bridges, airport runways, busy intersections, and some heavily traveled highways face exactly this kind of punishment. In those places, engineers are not asking whether the pavement can survive one heavy vehicle. They are asking whether it can keep its shape after millions of similar loads. That is where concrete begins to justify the slower construction process. Its value is not simply that it is strong on day one. It is that repeated pressure is less likely to reshape the surface over time. Traffic, however, is only part of the punishment. Even when the road is empty, the weather is still changing it. Roads move when the temperature changes. A road may look completely still, but its materials are constantly responding to temperature. Heat softens the bitumen and asphalt, making the pavement less resistant to deformation under heavy loads. Cold pushes it the other way, making the material harder and more brittle. Concrete has a different problem. It does not soften in the same way, but a rigid slab still expands as it warms and contracts as it cools. Across a long pavement, those small movements add up. That is why concrete roads contain features many drivers feel every day without thinking about them. The joints running between or across slabs are not simply marks left by construction. Many are placed deliberately because engineers already know the pavement is going to move. Those joints give sections of concrete-controlled places to expand and contract. Without them, thermal movement could build stress until the slab cracks where engineers never intended it to. Reinforcement and pavement design help manage the same forces, but the idea is simple. A rigid road still needs room to move. That small gap between slabs is a reminder that solid does not mean motionless. Years of traffic and temperature eventually leave their mark. Then the question becomes how difficult the pavement will be to fix. The road that is easier to fix may need fixing more often. Asphalt usually makes repairs easier to manage. A worn or damaged section can often be patched or resurfaced without removing the entire pavement structure. The trade-off is frequency. Asphalt may need attention more often during its service life. Concrete tends to reverse that pattern. Major interventions may be less frequent, but a badly damaged slab can require a bigger operation. The section may need to be cut out, replaced, and given time to gain strength before heavy traffic returns. The two materials invite different maintenance strategies. With asphalt, agencies may accept more frequent repairs because each intervention can be simpler and faster. With concrete, more effort may be required when major work finally becomes necessary. Which approach makes sense depends on traffic, climate, project size, local materials, and how disruptive future closures would be. Even after those factors are balanced, the pavement's color creates another difference you can feel on a summer day. The color of the road is not just cosmetic. Stand on fresh black asphalt under strong sun, and the heat is hard to miss. Its dark surface absorbs more solar energy, so it can become hotter than lighter concrete nearby. Concrete reflects more sunlight and may stay cooler under the same conditions, but that does not make its environmental story simple. Cement production requires substantial energy and releases significant amounts of carbon dioxide. Asphalt carries a different cost because its binder, bitumen, comes from petroleum. There is one important counterpoint. Old asphalt pavement can often be processed and reused in new paving mixtures, so large amounts of material do not necessarily have to be discarded when a road is renewed. Recyclable asphalt still begins with petroleum. A cooler concrete surface does not erase the emissions associated with cement production. The full environmental balance depends on more than color alone. By now, the original question is more useful in a different form, not which material is stronger, but which compromise matters most here. That is why stronger, longer-lasting concrete has never replaced asphalt everywhere. Road design is not a contest to maximize one property. Engineers are balancing construction time, traffic disruption, initial cost, maintenance, climate, repeated loads, and expected service life. Asphalt makes sense when a road must reopen quickly, when resurfacing needs to be straightforward, or when covering long distances efficiently matters most. Concrete becomes more attractive where heavy loads return day after day, where permanent deformation would be especially costly, and where a long-lasting rigid surface justifies slower construction and more complicated repairs. That is why the same city can use both materials within a few miles. A highway lane, industrial yard, bridge approach, intersection, or airport runway may place very different demands on the pavement beneath it. The road under your wheels is not made from the strongest material engineers could find. It is made from the compromise that best fits what that road has to survive. So the next time the surface changes from dark asphalt to pale concrete, you may be seeing more than a cosmetic choice. You may be crossing from one engineering strategy into another. Which surface do you see more often where you live, concrete or asphalt? Tell us below and subscribe to SST for more stories hidden inside the ordinary things around us.